Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Suspect in abduction of St. Thomas girls captured in Portland. Davian Bryan, the fugitive suspected to have abducted two girls, ages 9 and 13 in Bad St. Thomas in October 2021, has been captured in a joint search by police and residents in the district of Durham, Portland. The 32-year-old suspect, who is on firearm and rape charges, is also believed to have attacked a woman in Durham earlier this month. The woman was dragged into a heavily vegetated area and her head bashed in with a stone. She was rescued by residents and hospitalized. Police sources say Bryan was captured shortly after 9 p.m. Wednesday during an intense search. The search was conducted in one of the most rugged and treacherous terrains in West Portland and lasted for a little over 2 hours. Residents were determined to capture the man who had caused widespread fear among people in several communities, Portland and St. Thomas. Bryan's reign of terror also reportedly targeted a student at the College of Agricultural Science and Education in Pasley Gardens who was abducted and sexually assaulted shortly after 5 a.m. on March 5th. Bryan is being transported to an undisclosed police lockup and is expected to be charged with multiple offenses including rape, abduction, and absconding bail. The Portland police are investigating. 15-year-old student killed in attempted robbery identified. The student shot and killed in an attempted robbery along Legany Avenue in St. Andrew on Wednesday morning has been identified as 15-year-old Kenneth Williams. Reports from the police are that the teen, who is a student of the Poppin High School, was pounced upon by a lone gunman on foot at approximately 11:20 a.m. The gunman attempted to rob Williams of his cellular phone, and a struggle developed between the two before the explosion was heard. The alleged robber then ran off in the direction of Sunday Gully. The deceased was rushed to the University Hospital of the West Indies, where he was pronounced dead. Students with offensive weapons will be arrested. Head of the Trelawney Police Division, Superintendent Carlos Russell, has warned that any student who is found in possession of a weapon will be arrested and charged. Russell, while addressing a specially arranged devotion at William Knibb Memorial High School on Tuesday, made it clear about how the law will treat those found in possession of offensive weapons. It is an offense to be in the possession of an offensive weapon. If found with any of such weapon, you will be arrested and charged, Russell stated. I am warning you that you should leave the knives, scissors, and ice picks at home, he said. They are not a part of your material needed to advance your education. The warning came as a result of a stabbing incident at William Knibb Memorial on Monday, in which Kamal Hall, a 16-year-old student, died as a consequence of stab wounds he received in a conflict with a schoolmate. According to a teacher at the institution, the fight between the two boys was as a result of a feud which started on Friday. Russell, too, noted that earlier this year, there was another stabbing occurrence at another Trelawney High School and said there will be more random searches of students. It will not only be at the school gate or in the compound. Officers will be on the bus stops and sometimes on the transport that they take to and from school. The police department's community relations officer, Sergeant Wayne Wallace, said that he would include the superintendent's warning to school children about being arrested for offensive weapons in their possession in his interaction with the community. When I go to the neighborhood watch meeting, I will include it in my talk. Parents will be reminded that of their responsibility to their children, he said. It is more than providing lunch money and bus fares. One parent, on hearing of Russell's warning, expressed the view that students are wild. I see students smoking ganja after and before school. They have some of the most foul language. They must be searched for the presence of drugs, she said, while choosing not to be named. I fear for my life, she posits. They are a dangerous set. Another double murder rocks Westmoreland. Jamaica Labour Party councillor for the Cornwall Mountain Division, Darnett Foster, has expressed shock at the number of murders that has taken place within her political power base since the start of the year. Foster, who was speaking to members of the media following the killing of two men in Highgate community in Darlaston, Westmoreland on Tuesday morning, said that this latest double killing has taken the number of persons killed in her division since January to 10. The most recent incident occurred on Monday night at a shop at Highgate and left 2 men dead and another nursing gunshot wounds in hospital. Those killed have been identified as 35-year-old Sonny Leslie, otherwise Kolmunji, and 22-year-old Nicholas Warlock, both laborers of Highgate. Reports are that about 9:45 p.m., Leslie Warlock and another man were among other customers at a shop in Highgate when a group of men drove into the community in a motor car. 2 of them alighted from the vehicle, entered the establishment and opened fire on the occupants, hitting 3 victims before jumping back into the waiting motor car and sped away. The police were summoned and upon arrival, the wounded men were taken to the Savannah Lamar Hospital, where Warlock and Leslie were pronounced dead, and the other victim treated and admitted in serious condition. Foster, who visited the relatives of the victims, told reporters that the incident was most unfortunate and that she is especially concerned over the number of murders in her constituency since the start of the year. If I can remember correctly, there have been over 3 double murders and a triple murder in my division, and this has now become a great concern, she said. All of these senseless killings have got to stop, and this is a matter that needs to be addressed with great urgency. Like Foster, residents living in the area also expressed concern over the hike in murders in their community, but said they were mainly concerned over the latest incident, which is the first of its kind to take place in the Highgate area. I am over 60, and this is the first time I ever see something like this take place in a Highgate, one resident stated. This is a peaceful farming town, and them thing ya never happen up here so. It make all the wicked afraid, and afraid for walk at night time. The concerned resident also said that other persons at the shop had to run in order to save their lives from the gunmen, and also the entire community is now living in fear. Meanwhile, the Westmoreland police have reported that they have not got any leads into the latest double murder, but that they are still working on making an early breakthrough. 29 persons have been murdered in Westmoreland since the start of the year. Cadet Force wants to double its membership. Special needs students have not been left out of the recruitment drive to boost the ranks of the Jamaica Combined Cadet Force JCCF, which now has between 3,000 and 4,000 cadets in high schools across the country and wants to double that number by the end of this year. 7 high-ranking members of the JCCF launched a recruitment drive last Friday, and among the students visited was Rosebank Center of Excellence located in Dean Penn St. Mary. According to Principal Darnett Lewis, the school caters to children ages 12 to 19 who have special abilities. She was thrilled to welcome JCCF Commandant Errol Johnson and his team for the launch. Being involved in Cadet Force may prove to be a bit challenging for students with physical disabilities. However, the majority of our students have intellectual disabilities. Just a few are physically challenged. Therefore, a special curriculum will be crafted to suit the needs of our students who are eager to become members, said Lewis. Joining the Cadet Force, it seems, as a way to help teenagers learn discipline and life skills that will help them better in life. Today, we are out here in collaboration with the police. The Ministry of National Security's School Intervention Strategy is all about combating defiant and antisocial behavior in children, and that's what they expect of the Cadet Force, to not only prepare or mold these youngsters into model citizens, but giving them that feeling of stability and purpose. Also, to see how we can help to eradicate the kind of behavior that eventually will lead them into committing youth crimes, said Training Officer Lieutenant Colonel Kerr Fraser, who is stationed at Upper Camp. He told reporters that he is optimistic that the recruit push will help double the force's number. During their stop in St. Mary last week, the team also visited St. Mary High School. At the end of the day, children are searching for a sense of belonging. That's one of the reasons why you find that criminal gangs are able to recruit them. They just want to affiliate themselves with some group, but not all groups are positive, Fraser said. Among residents who expressed support for the JCCF initiative was Vivian Creed Chambers, who was a Boy Scout when he was younger. All citizens, not just students, should have some amount of military training. It's a part of survival and discipline. We have had a completely better society where discipline is concerned, he noted. The military training never leaves you, it becomes a lifelong skill, Chambers added. Head of the St. Mary Police Division, Superintendent Bobette Morgan Simpson, and other members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force were also at the launch. McKenzie warns Jamaicans not to let their COVID guard down. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Desmond McKenzie is warning Jamaicans that amid the removal of all the measures under the Disaster Risk Management Act, DRMA, they are still responsible for preventing the spread of COVID-19. Those restrictions, while they have been lifted, are not an indication that COVID is gone. It is still here. What the government has done is to say to the Jamaican people, for the last 2 years you have been faithful. You have worked hard, you have maintained the protocol. The time came and we had to take the decision to remove those restrictions, McKenzie stated. He was speaking at the Embassy of Japan and the National Solid Waste Management Authority's grant contract signing ceremony at the offices of the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development in St. Andrew on Tuesday for the purchase of 2 new garbage compactors at the cost of $31.5 million. Since March 18, when it became effective for the others under the DRMA to be withdrawn, numerous parties have been held where hundreds of Jamaicans have been partying and socializing without masks and social distancing, which they are being warned about as the nation continues to recover. McKenzie also mentioned that majority of the contribution that the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development made to the nation's COVID-19 recovery process, which includes funds which should have been used to purchase garbage trucks that were promised before the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. COVID came and we had to take some decisions because we've never experienced COVID before. None of us in our lifetime would have experienced what a pandemic was like. And so, the funding to purchase these 100 trucks were diverted, and we have seen the benefit of it because Jamaica has done exceptionally well in our fight against COVID-19, McKenzie said. The grant contract was signed by McKenzie and Masaya, the ambassador of Japan to Jamaica. These 2 garbage trucks will be procured from a Japanese automaker under the embassy's Grant Assistance for Grassroots Human Security Project program. For his part, Masaya said, through this program, the NSWME aims at improving its operation of the current garbage collection services in 8 communities: Almantown, Barbican, Fletcher's Land, Plain Land, Kinterra Standpipe, Golden Cement Villa, and Grand Spen in the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew. He added, those 8 communities were targeted because the MPM Waste Management Limited, operated under NSWME, oversees the communities currently does not own any small garbage compactors truck available which can be driven through the community. Under the GGP, approximately $1.4 billion has been spent on 121 projects across Jamaica, funded by Japan between 1995 and March 2022. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.